Meanwhile, the USS Ronald Reagan Carrier Strike Group is doing what it can to help disaster survivors.
NBC San Diego's military reporter Alicia Dean joins us now with an update on what San Diego-based sailors are doing off the coast of Japan. Alicia?
Well, Susan and Catherine, for the second day in a row, poor weather conditions, including snow, hampered Reagan's operation centered off the east coast of Iwate Prefecture. The carrier and support ships USS Preble and USS Chancellorsville were among the first of 17,000 U.S. troops sent to Japan to aid survivors of the earthquake and tsunami that hit 6 days ago. The ships are coordinating several supply flights daily, delivering more than 40 tons of bottled water, food, clothing, and medical supplies. In a post on Facebook, Commander George Aguilar, commanding officer of the Black Knights anti-submarine helicopter squadron assigned to USS Reagan, said flight crews found a village that hadn't received aid yet, and they alerted the Japanese government. The 5,000 pounds of relief supplies delivered today included 2 teddy bears. Aguilar says seeing survivors smile is well worth the effort. Meanwhile, growing concern about the stability of the Fukushima power plant, the Pentagon says it's implementing every precautionary measure possible to protect our troops from radiation exposure. The Pentagon spokesman said supplies of potassium iodide and possibly other compounds are being moved from the continental U.S. to Japan in case they are needed. Some air crews are being given iodine pills before missions, and everyone participating in aid efforts are tested for contamination before returning to their ships or bases. And of course, we all know the Navy says 17 members of the USS Reagan Carrier Strike Group who tested positive for radiation exposure earlier this week are in good health. For now, the Navy is also halting all sailor duty transfers to its installations in Japan. Alicia Dean, NBC, San Diego.
Thank you.
Well, meanwhile, the Pentagon says it's implementing every precautionary measure possible to protect U.S. troops from radiation exposure, including crews from the USS Ronald Reagan Carrier Strike Group. Alicia Dean has the details.
Well, Susan, a Pentagon spokesman says supplies of potassium iodide and possibly other compounds are being moved from the continental United States in case they're needed in Japan. Now, some air crews are being given iodine pills before missions, and everyone participating in aid operations are tested for contamination before returning to their ships and their bases. The Navy says 17 members of the USS Reagan Carrier Strike Group who tested positive for radiation exposure earlier this week are in good health. In fact, the USS Reagan, along with USS Preble and USS Chancellorsville, are continuing aid operations off the east coast of Iwate Prefecture. The ships are coordinating several supply flights daily, delivering more than 40 tons of bottled water, food, clothing, and medical supplies. San Diego-based crews are among 17,000 troops participating in humanitarian aid and disaster relief operations in and around Japan. Alicia Dean, NBC, San Diego.
Thanks, Alicia. Well traveled, but now it is shut down indefinitely. Where this